Ancillary Canaries MP Dominic Fede says it's time for the opposition to practice what they preach and deliver upon the support that they say that they pledge to the government. Shaka Wooding has more.
Ancillary Canaries MP Dominic Fede criticized the behavior of members of the opposition at the April 21st sitting of Parliament, expressing grave disappointment about their contributions to the debate in the Parliament. Claiming that the opposition is making a poor attempt at gaining political points instead of contributing to the issues at hand, the minister urged against this behavior.
Mr. Speaker, it is quite unfortunate that we are dealing with a state of emergency, we're dealing with a crisis, and the opposition cannot resist its temptation to play politics with such a sensitive situation that threatens the very lives of our citizens, Mr. Speaker. I sit here, and as I listen to the first two speakers from the opposition, I have concluded that today is perhaps one of the saddest days in St. Lucia's political history.
The MP further requested that the opposition take action to deliver on the support which they continue to promise to the government at this time. He noted various attempts made by the Prime Minister to involve the opposition in decision-making processes at this time. However, Fede's presentation was interrupted by opposition leader Philip J. Pierre, who claims that he has received marginal attempts of invitation by the Prime Minister.
There come a time when I believe that the politics needs to rise to the occasion and to sense that we must come together, and we must work together, and we must do everything possible, as the Prime Minister has done, by achieving a bipartisan approach to this fight. I know that he has invited the leader of the opposition to many forums, Mr. Speaker. He was present. Many MPs were present at the launching of NEMAC.
He is misleading
Mr.
the
Speaker,
House. I have not been invited to many functions. I've been invited to one meeting of NEMAC. You are misleading the House.
Honorable members.
The dispute was silenced by the Speaker of the House, who stated that the House of Assembly is no place for such outbursts nor secret agenda by either side. He further directed the MPs to continue discussions relevant to the motions currently under debate. For 7 News, I am Jaka Wooding.
Meanwhile, Labrie MP Alva Baptiste says even amid such somber times, business continues as usual in the House of Assembly with needless confrontation. Baptiste says during such adverse times, the opposition has done its part and offered support and advice, some of which he says has been blatantly disregarded. Genevieve Gonzague reports.
Member of Parliament for Labrie, Alva Baptiste, has accused the government of St. Lucia of continuing with needless confrontation and unnecessary political tactics when the country is facing gloomy times and is riddled with unforeseen challenges.
It is also a sad and solemn occasion to come to this chamber at this time when we are supposed to be organizing ourselves into that integrated whole to manage the conversation and to manage that very delicate period. That I come here and it's business as usual, attacking the opposition. Attacking the opposition for what? For honest opinion, Mr. Speaker. I do not believe we should approach this season in that spirit of needless confrontation.
The MP said that he had received many complaints from constituents and other members of the public who indicated that some of the policies implemented by the government were not executed properly and that there was political favor being shown rather than the interest of the entire country.
Constituents of mine and people from all over were calling, said, listen, the lockdown was not handled properly. And they complained that there was politics in the whole process of dealing with this matter on the part of the government. I wrote my second post asking them, notwithstanding those things, I'm appealing to them to stay at home, observe the protocol.
Baptiste says opposition MPs from the onset have been doing what they must and have been following through with all responsibilities. However, he claims that they continue to face constant dismissal at the hands of the government.
Don't dismiss a legitimate concern, Mr. Speaker, because they believe the opposition has absolutely no right to speak. That on the 6th of June 2016, it does not matter what is happening in this country, that we do not have the right to speak.
Baptiste says he is disappointed with the behavior being displayed by the government and is asking for all heads to come together at this juncture, saying that the opposition is more than willing and ready to work alongside the government to ensure the most successful outcome for the country amid COVID-19. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
The Agriculture Ministry moves forward with plans to boost the efficiency of livestock services and the livestock sector on the island. Amanda Faye Clark has more in this report.
A site visit to Volet Miko, where the new livestock station is to be erected, was convened this week to evaluate the preparation for works to be undertaken in Phase 1 of the project. Special Projects Coordinator of the Ministry of Agriculture, Eden Compton, says once established, the focus will be on assisting livestock farmers and on growing the livestock industry in tangible ways. It is expected that breeding stock will be produced for farmers, enabling them to multiply and sell to butchers when there is a meat processing facility. Animal health advisory and treatment services will be provided by livestock extension officers and veterinarians to facilitate improved livestock production. Quarantine officers and veterinary public health officers will also be stationed at the Volet Livestock Station to allow timely inspection of imported meat and to carry out ante- and post-mortem inspections after slaughtering and wholesomeness inspections to ensure all food safety requirements are met.
The old station at Beauséjour basically has outlived its usefulness. It was closed in October of 2019, that's last year, for a number of reasons. One, there's the DSH Pearl of the Caribbean project that's been implemented in the south of the island. And secondly, the Department of Agriculture felt that a better location should be identified to establish a livestock station. And that's why Volet was chosen. On the other hand, at Beauséjour, most of the buildings are pretty old. The administrative building alone is over 100 years. And all the walls are very porous, the foundation. The rooms are very moldy and not suitable for housing staff, administrative staff and frontline staff. So I think the opportunity presented itself, and the Department of Agriculture grabbed the opportunity to move ahead and identify a more suitable location to establish a station.
The Volet Livestock Station will be a state-of-the-art facility built on 101 acres of land. Phase 1 of the project will see the development of about 30 acres.
So all that you are seeing here today is basically the first phase, and it includes the construction of the roads and the drainage infrastructure, the construction of 2 swine units, a fattening unit and a maternity unit, the construction of a rabbitry, also the construction of 2 small ruminant pens, a warehouse for storage of feed and equipment, and a building for the stockmen. These are the workers who will be taking care of the animals. And in this budget, though not enough, there'll be a bit of fencing of the property.
Phase 1 of the project will be completed at a cost of 5.3 million EC dollars. From the Ministry of Agriculture, this is Amanda Faye Clark reporting.
The 22nd of April is commemorated as Earth Day. While COVID-19 continues to spread around the world, dominating the headlines and the attention of the masses, environmentalists have found a silver lining. Marking its half-century anniversary and selecting climate change as its theme, Earth Day 2020 was already poised to be a historic event. This was further heightened when within weeks, dense clouds of smog cleared up in the world's most polluted countries, leaving many to believe there is hope yet in the fight against climate change.
Beijing before and after quarantine. Same thing in Paris near the Eiffel Tower. The Alps now visible from Milan. Another clear horizon in La Paz, Bolivia. Here, as in many cities around the world, the smog has cleared as the coronavirus pandemic imposes social lockdowns and economic shutdowns. Road traffic here has dropped by up to 90%, according to local officials, and scientists are paying close attention. Less cars on the road, less planes, and less ships. The reduction in road, air, and maritime traffic have all contributed to the improvement of global air quality. For some environmentalists, it's a sign that fighting climate change is possible.
What's happened kind of overnight or in a matter of days in light of the COVID-19 has really demonstrated that there's a lot more capacity for society to change very quickly, and right now we need society to change quickly and positively to tackle the climate crisis.
As certain parts of the world begin easing lockdown measures, some scientists fear pollution will return as countries look to reboot their economies amid the crisis.
According to the United Nations Emissions Gap Report, global CO2 emissions need to drop by 7.6% by the end of 2020 and continue to fall each year to keep global heating under 1.5 degrees Celsius. Earth Day 2020 is not just the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, but also the anniversary of the signing of the Paris Agreement to take on climate change. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. When we return, sports and the weather.